So what we're about to do now is take the moving head off of the machine. It's going to give us a better look inside the machine, and also will explain a couple parts that need to be adjusted at times. The upper faceplate is a common problem that is real easy to fix. And also, what we'll have to do to start doing this, we'll have to remove the stop collar, and this is on the shaft that your needle take-up levers are riding on. Okay? So we'll just take that off and remove it. We'll also take these pipes out, so it's going to be easy to remove the head without everything attached to it. All those do is pull out, and that's where your thread cones or your threads are passing through. So before completely removing the head, we have to take off the cap protector, which is a metal plate that runs behind the head itself. It takes a 2.5 millimeter Allen wrench, and there's two cap screws, one on each side. Okay. And then this piece is removed. We can put that to the side for right now. Now, what we'll do with all those pieces off, we'll turn to needle number 1, okay, all the way to number 1, and you'll see that when you turn, this shaft here is also turning. Okay. This is the color change motor shaft, and what that'll do is you want to continue turning that shaft counterclockwise, which will turn the head off. Now, the head is going to be pretty heavy, so be sure to have a firm grip on the lower part of the head itself right here. Turn the shaft by hand, okay, and the head's going to come loose. From that point, just keep sliding, okay, and the head will completely come off. Now, on the back side of the head, you got to be careful, we got a wire connecting. But on the back side of the head itself, you'll see what's called the upper faceplate. If this needs to be detached or gets damaged in any way, there's 4 screws that hold it on, and that plate can be removed and just put right back on. A little explanation about the upper faceplate and what this does. This is why your needles will taper towards the active needle, because there's taper on this upper faceplate where the back of the needle bar boss rides on it. If ever you see your needle bar just kind of hesitate and not engage as soon as the stitch should start, that means that this upper faceplate bumper is getting worn. So what needs to be done is, if you move, the head does not need to be removed, but if you needle change to needle number 1, loosen this screw right here, loosen it up, and just tap down on this plate a little bit, tighten that up, and do the same for the other. And you'll see that this plate can move up and down. Now, if you move down too far, if you shut the head off, your presser foot will vibrate. So that means you have to come up a little bit. When you turn the head on, the needle should engage instantly, but when you turn the head off, the needle should stay still. Okay? Eventually, after time, you can go down only so far. This piece, the cushion itself, will need to be removed. What you could do then, loosen one screw, take it completely out, move to the other side of the head, loosen that screw, take it completely out, and that upper faceplate will slide out. Repair the cushion and replace it. Okay, now we're going to return the head onto the machine. There's a couple key points to watch for. You'll see that I can still press the color change buttons from left to right, and what I want to do is get this to number 1, and you'll notice the shaft right here is turning counterclockwise. Okay, so what I do is turn that until it gets to the number 1 position, and then I continue, and when you know what you're at the number 1 position, it'll say it on the screen, and also you'll have your the set screw right here will be facing. So what we need to do is turn an additional half turn so the cam is open, so you can slide through right in this position. There'll be bearings on the back of the head itself that'll slide in this position, and then we can turn the head into the number 1 slot. Now, before doing that, we'll also have to line up our take-up levers to ride on this shaft right here, and to do that, we'll take a rubber band and wrap them around all of the take-up levers, so when you grab onto one take-up lever, all of them will move at the same time. This will allow easy sliding onto this shaft. Okay? You need to be at seat point, because this is what drives your take-up levers, and you'll see that when I turn the shaft, this piece will move. So we need to be at C point so we can slide right onto the shaft. So be sure to be at 270. In addition to that, there is what's called V-rail bearings right here. And the V-rail itself will slide onto the V-rail bearings. The cam will come in, and then just turn the cam forward a half a turn. So this set screw on the shaft itself is facing you. Then we'll be able to color change. Alright, first thing you need to do when replacing the head is start the take-up levers onto the round shaft like that, and then set the V-rail bearing on the rail, or the bearing itself. Now just touching the take-up levers and start the bottom. There's another V-rail bearing at the bottom, and then it'll slide nice and easy for you, and it'll slide right into the position. If you just give it a little push, actually it'll come right into position. From that point, if it hasn't turned all the way, you can turn your motor a little bit to the number 1 position. Now at this point, try manually changing needles to number 2, and it should say register number 2, and you should be on needle 2. Go back to number 1, and you'll be on number 1.